In December of 2018, Bill C-46 was declared, and this completely overhauled impaired by alcohol and impaired by drug legislation in Canada, completely new laws. And I want to talk about the legal limits now, which have been set by Parliament for drug use and driving, frankly. So I'm going to give you the example of cannabis, of marijuana. So the legal limit it's a per se limit. If you reach this limit in your bloodstream and the police test your blood, you're going to be charged criminally with impaired by drug. That legal limit is 5 nanograms of THC per milliliter of blood. Now, 5 nanograms, this is not a lot, first of all, and you can reach that level quite easily by smoking marijuana. There's all sorts of other, per se, I'll call them legal limits for all sorts of drugs: cocaine, magic mushroom, psilocybin, you name it, LSD. Those have all been set legal limits. Now, there's a lot of controversy around this because how did they set these limits? Is there scientific validity that a person's actually impaired at those limits? Well, maybe one person would be, maybe another wouldn't, maybe none were. I'm not sure of the science. I'd like to see the science, but there's been a lot of controversy online about how they reach these legal limits. So the problem then becomes, what if you're a prescription marijuana user, you use marijuana all day long, every day, and you have to? Well, you're going to get in a car and probably be over, or you could be over. You don't know. What if you're an occasional user? How many hours before you get in the car should you smoke or not smoke? You don't know. It's going to affect one person differently. It may stay with another person longer than you, depending on weight. The safe course is never get in a car if you're going to have marijuana that day, I would say. But we have to figure out scientifically what is a safe time period, and I don't know that we've done that. So I want to point that out. These per se limits, in my view, may be challenged in court in the upcoming years. In fact, I expect them to be, and it may wind its way ultimately to the Supreme Court of Canada. But these were brought in, of course, to admirably so, to fight the scourge of drug-impaired driving. They're very tough laws, and if you fail them, you're going to be charged with penalties which are totally equivalent, and in fact the same as impaired by alcohol, which has serious consequences. So those are some of the issues we're facing, and some of the challenges in court. We'll be fighting it out, duking it out as lawyers, the Crown and defense lawyers over the next many years.